It is very unique that this company has its own costume shop. It's a very valuable thing for a company that does true repertory, which is a different program every night. Combine that with a company that has somewhere about 100 dancers, that's just constant change every day. Right now, we are in the process of getting ready for our spring season. And usually we choose maybe 2, maybe 3 major projects to address, ballets that are in bad shape or need to be completely redone. Originally, Theme and Variations was created in 1947, and then in 1970, it became the 4th movement of Suite Number 3 by Tchaikovsky. And at that time, the costumes were redesigned for the 4th movement. We will remake tutus after 10 to 15 years, because that's usually the lifespan. Gravity just has its way with them, and they become very droopy. I'll get a call saying that the tutus just look sad. Color changes horribly. Many times with blues and reds, the dye just is not stable. And so they will start to become a completely different color, as these did. Originally, they were a really beautiful rusty brown color, and they have oxidized and become this kind of funny orange. This, which was this beautiful kind of watery, greeny blue, has become brown because of boys partnering. You get a lot of oil from their hands, and it just starts to turn brown. So we're trying to take them back as close as we can to the original color. What we do have for each ballet is what we call a Bible, and in it we have various references to use. Most of those photographs are black and white, so for color they're of no use to us, but still, for the basic silhouette of the costume, they're very useful. Then we have what we call Bible pages. In that will be a swatch of fabric. If there's any kind of stones or lace or any kind of trim whatsoever, what was used to create that trim. In the case of Theme, they have this really beautiful lace on the edge of the tutu, which would be hard to find now and is in good enough shape that we can use it after taking it off and cleaning it and restoring it. I think many times our dancers feel a certain connection to older costumes. There's a history there in an older costume. I think that gives them a feeling of nostalgia to wear this costume that's been around for decades and is nice in a way to kind of extend the life of it in some way. Fittings they're a very intimate thing because basically you're coming into a room with many times a young dancer. They're not familiar with you, you aren't familiar with them. I try to come in and kind of entertain them or take their mind off of what's going on a little bit so that our draper and our assistant draper can do the job that they need to do. At some point, I kind of switch over and I have to really make them concentrate on how they feel. Feel like that could come in?
I mean, it's comfortable.
Well, if it's comfortable, then I would take it in a little bit.
Really?
Yes. Is the elastic too tight? Is it too loose? Can they move as best they can here in this fitting room? Once a fitting happens, work really progresses quite quickly, and there is a lot of work that can be spread out throughout the shop. Part of our shop is working on what they are experts at, which is bodice making. And then the rest of the shop will start the process of actually putting together the structure of that tutu. Right now we have racks in the back of the shop that are hanging with all the pieces that will be put together to make a tutu. Something we're going to see today is Jason tacking the tutus. Once the layers of net have all been applied to the yoke, he puts the tutu on a form and steams out each layer separately so that you create that nice flat tutu shape. He then tacks each layer to the one underneath, working around the entire tutu. A lot of our bodices, they come to a very severe point at the center front, and to get that very exact point, it takes laying the bodice on an ironing table and then literally using a hammer to kind of pound it and shape it. It eventually all comes together, we hope, on time for a final fitting. It's very important for them that they feel like it's sitting on them properly. It needs to feel like it's moving with each movement that they do. It's like somewhere between 1.5 inches and 1.25 inches. It's that 1/8 of an inch that makes all the difference.
Okay, so 1 and 3.
We've done a few fittings here. where we've had dancers come in and put tutus on in a fairly finished state, and just the look on their face is very exciting.
It's like walking down the street in an outfit you like. I mean, if you feel good in it and it's made for you, of course you're gonna feel better dancing.
The dress rehearsal is the next time that I see the dancer in costume. When they get on stage, they're dancing full out, and it's a whole different situation for them. Many times the bodices, we fit them rather snug because we know with their body heat and sweat, it always makes these bodices stretch and kind of actually mold to their body, and that usually by the end of that rehearsal, they're completely comfortable. I mean, I just always feel that a comfortable dancer is a happy dancer, and ultimately they'll dance better. And I think that when these girls get out on stage and that curtain goes up, I think these new tutus will make a huge difference. Everything we do here, as best we can, we do not skimp. We don't compromise really in any way in trying to recreate the costumes that Barbara Korinska, when she was alive, did on a daily basis.